Ladies and gentlemen, this is your video that you are going to use along with the notes you took to help you increase your grade on the Chapter 11 final test that we averaged under a 75% for. Everything in these notes and on this video would be things that you struggled with on the test. Things that you did well on the test, like complementary events, are not going to be part of the retest. Tree diagrams will not be part of the retest because those things you did well on. Only things you see on this video and in these notes will be on the test. So for example, you struggled with independent events and understanding the formula for independent events. Bennett, what is the formula to calculate an independent event?
A times probability B.
Okay, the probability of A times the probability of B. Okay, and then you see an example down below where we drew an ace, we put it back, we drew a king. For those of you that struggle with decks of cards, there are 52 cards in a standard playing deck. And there are 4 of every single type of card. 4 kings, 4 queens, 4 aces, 4 fives, 4 sixes, 4 sevens, and so on. So if you draw an ace, you have a 4 out of 52 chance of drawing that ace. If you put it back, how many cards would be left in that deck of cards before you draw your next one?
52.
Say that again.
52.
And what would be the probability that you would draw a king?
4.
4 52, right? What would be the probability of you drawing back-to-back aces if you replace the card after you drew it? 4 out of 52 times 4 out of 52 would be the same thing. So then what we did is we reduced these numbers, we multiplied, we converted to 0.0059, which rounded to 0.01%, which is exactly 1% as a rounded answer. Number 2, dependent events. Aiden, what is the formula for calculating dependent events?
Probability A times probability of event B after A.
So in dependent events, whatever happened previously affects what happens next, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
When calculating probability, you have to ask yourself a question if more than one event has taken place, right? If you have more than one event taking place, what is the question you should ask? What is the question you should ask if more than one event is taking place, Ben?
If it is
You should ask yourself, is this a dependent event or is it an independent event? Or independent set of events or dependent set of events? Okay, do they impact each other or do they not impact each other? So number 2, I'm going to skip over the example, but you can definitely read the example. Our final answer turned out to be 11 over 1,110, which we converted to a decimal, which we converted to a percent. Make sure you know how to do that as well. I'm not going to go through that. Odds. There are 2 formulas for odds now. You only had one formula before. You had this guy right here. Odds would be favorable over unfavorable. But then I gave you, okay, odds, and then odds against would be the exact opposite. So, Anna, what is the formula for odds against? And the formula for odds would be, again, what, Anna?
favorable outcomes over unfavorable.
Okay, so then you're simply asking yourself the question, what are my favorable outcomes? And then what are my unfavorable? Or vice versa, depending on what we're asking for. So in this raffle, there are 4 winning tickets and there's 100 tickets. How many favorable events are there, you guys? Everybody.
4.
So in this raffle, there are 4 winning tickets. There are 100 total tickets sold. How many favorable events are there, everybody?
4.
How many unfavorable events are there?
96.
So your odds would be 4 to 96 or reduced down to 1 over 24. Number 8 is an example of an example of odds against, because it says what are the odds against, and we counted the kids in our room, and we counted 16 girls, and we counted 12 boys, right? And so what are the odds against selecting a girl? Well, what is the unfavorable event? Selecting a boy. And the favorable event is selecting a girl. So 12 to 16 or 3 to 4. Inequalities, make sure you know these. I'm not going to spend really any time on the inequalities. 13 is a summary of how to identify greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. And then number 5 would be 2 practice problems or 3 practice problems. 14, 15, and 15A that you are going to see similar examples on the test like those problems. Read your notes, do your notes, understand your formulas, increase your grade.